If b is a positive real number, we define the principal square root of negative b, denoted by square root of negative b, as such. Square root of negative b, we just take the negative out and call it I, and we put it behind the square root of b. And we do this because I is equal to the square root of negative 1. So really, what does it mean? It just means that if you have a negative within a square root, just take it out, remove the negative, and then put an I behind the square root. Make sure you do not put the I underneath the root. It needs to be behind it. So let's simplify a few of them. So first we got square root of negative 4. So I'm going to write out exactly what it's supposed to be to do this. So square root of negative 4, we can just say that this is square root of 4 times negative 1. And then we could separate this as square root of 4 and square root of negative 1. And square root of negative 1, like it says right here, is just I. So I can replace square root of negative 1 with I. And then from here, just simplify as square root of 4, which is just 2. So square root of negative 4 is just 2i. Next, we have square root of negative 25. So I'm not going to go the long way this time. I'm just going to go straight to what we need to know. So I'm going to take the negative out straight away. So I'm going to keep calling it square root of 25, but I'm just going to throw an I behind it, just to make my life easier. And then it just to simplify square root of 25, which is just 5. So my answer is just 5i. Here we have negative square root of negative 64. Bunch of negatives. So again, make my life easier. Take the negative inside the root, just kick it out, and call it I. And now I'm just going to simplify square root of 64, which is just going to be negative 8i. And that's all you do for that. Here we have square root of negative 12. I'm going to kick the negative out and call it square root of 12i. And now I'm going to reduce down square root of 12, which I know is just square root of 4 and square root of 3. And square root of 4 is just 2. Square root of 3, just leave it as is. And just keep the I in the back. And there we go. Next we have negative square root of negative 45. Just going to treat the exact same. So negative square root of 45 with the negative kicked in the back as an I. And then square root of 45 is just square root of 9, square root of 5, I. And so just simplify what we can. So negative square root of 9 is just 3, root 5 is just 5, root 5, and then I stays in the back. And that's all there is to this one. Last, square root of negative 15. Again, just take that negative and kick it on out. So we're going to get square root of 15i. And square root of 15 cannot reduce down. So it's the nicest one of the whole bunch. There's nothing else to do. That's our answer.